What's going on, everybody? I'm Trevor Noah. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Social Distancing Show. We are now on day 24 of staying at home to try and prevent the spread of the coronavirus. And here's your quarantine tip of the day. If you get lonely, because everyone gets lonely, just take some of your nail clippings, soak them in water, and in a few days, they'll grow into a clone of you.
Wow! I can't believe I made a perfect clone of myself. Kill me.
Anyway, on tonight's episode, coronavirus is putting war on hold. Jordan Klepper gets lessons from survivalists and how quarantine is changing the way we love. So, let's get into it. Welcome to the Daily Social Distancing Show.
From Trevor's couch in New York City to your couch somewhere in the world. This is the Daily Social Distancing Show with Trevor Noah.
If you spend all your time watching the news, you probably feel like the world is about to end. And it is, but that's no reason not to have some fun, which is why we always remind ourselves here at The Daily Show to smile in our ongoing segment, A Ray of Sunshine. Okay, first up, with people no longer able to go out to their favorite restaurants, some restaurants are helping people restaurant at home. Yeah, they're helping people create the experience themselves. Like yesterday, Waffle House began selling bags of its signature waffle mix for $20, and they were completely sold out in 4 hours. And I think this is a great idea. In fact, I hope all fast food chains give us the ingredients to mimic the experience of eating there. You know, they should just tell us how they do it so we can do it for ourselves. Like Popeyes, they can teach you how to make their spicy chicken sandwich. Or Chick-fil-A, they can show you how to use pickles to hate gay people. And White Castle can teach you how to beat yourself up in a parking lot. In more good news, coronavirus is now shutting down wars. Yes, Saudi Arabia has announced that they will stop bombing Yemen, one of the world's poorest countries. And they say they're going to do this in an effort to stop the spread of coronavirus there. And this is so inspiring right now, because Saudi Arabia is basically like, let us work together to kill this virus so that we can go back to killing each other. Because otherwise the virus wins, my friends. Do you agree? Why don't you just not kill me? Do you agree or not? Yeah, okay, I guess so. Speaking of winning, back here in the United States, Dr. Anthony Fauci, lead member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force and hottest doctor since McDreamy, has announced that thanks to social distancing, extreme social distancing, the US is starting to see some glimmers of hope. And he also said that the country might not reach the 100,000 deaths as originally projected. This is amazing news. But he cautioned everybody to take this as a sign that official warnings have been effective, but not that they were overblown. Or as he put it, now is not the time to pull back at all. It's a time for us to intensify our efforts. And I completely hear what Dr. Fauci is saying. Fighting coronavirus is a lot like having sex. When you're close to achieving your goal, that's not the time to pull back. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Wait, why are you stopping? Well, you said you were almost there, so I figure we can go back outside. What? All right. Well, that's enough of that. Let's catch up on the headlines. All over the world, the confirmed cases of coronavirus continue to grow day by day, with the global tally now sitting at 1.5 million people. And as this pandemic rages on, more and more countries who initially thought that they could outfox the virus are quickly realizing how wrong they were. For example, Sweden was one of the only European countries that didn't shut their population down, because you see, their plan was to keep sick people and old people at home and then allow healthy and younger people to live their lives as usual. And it looks like that strategy isn't working, because Sweden now has a higher death toll than all other Scandinavian nations combined. And this is what people need to realize about the coronavirus. I've seen people say, why don't we just let some people go out and some people, yeah, but coronavirus spreading it's like a secret. You can tell people not to spread a secret, but does that ever work? No. If you want a secret to stay secret, you gotta lock it down. Or eventually, everybody's gonna find out that you never actually saw Black Panther. And that's just an example I thought of. I mean, I've seen Black Panther. We've all seen Black Panther. I mean, my favorite scene was when the Black Panther marries the Tiger King. There's also some worrying news coming out of Singapore. The country whose early response to the pandemic has been described as the gold standard, they reported a record-breaking 142 new infections yesterday. And this is yet another reminder. We have to stay vigilant with social distancing. Because now that we've got Corona on the ropes, this is not the time for us to relax. Because if we're not careful, all of us, we could end up like the first Avengers.
You should have gone for the head.
That's right, people. Let's make sure we go for the head. You know, whenever we talk about coronavirus, we always think about the lives that will be lost, the economy, and people's jobs. But the one thing we also can't ignore is how it's gonna affect people's relationships. So for today, I thought, you know what, let's change gears and focus on something a little different in our brand new segment, Love in the Time of Corona. Now, the coronavirus outbreak has been amazing for Ying and Lily's relationship. Yeah, because with no one around, those two panda bears have started having more sex than Donald Trump whenever Melania's out of town. I'm joking, of course. He doesn't care if she's in town or not. But it turns out, for us human panda bears, the coronavirus hasn't been as beneficial for our love lives.
Splitting up together. Divorce rates spiked in China in the wake of the coronavirus. So is the U.S. next?
We are seeing a pressure cooker of disaster for couples.
Business is booming right now for Eleanor Alter, a prominent divorce lawyer in the epicenter of the pandemic, New York City.
I'm seeing an uptick in calls.
People calling at all hours of the night seeking legal advice.
I'm getting a lot of calls about people who are in close quarters with a person that they were planning to divorce perhaps this year and it hasn't happened yet, wondering if they can go forward with a divorce during the pandemic.
Yeah, coronavirus is the worst thing to happen to marriages since the invention of the pool boy. Why you gotta be so sexy when you're raking those leaves in the pool boy? And getting divorced is already a stressful experience. But getting divorced when you can't leave, sweet Lord, that must be the worst. Just imagine, if you lived in like a New York City apartment, what do you do then? Huh? Okay, fine. You can have the bed and I'm gonna sleep in the microwave. So yeah, because of coronavirus, divorce lawyers are seeing more business than the guy selling glow sticks at Coachella. And if you're wondering, why is this happening? Well, it's because quarantine is showing a lot of couples that they might love each other, but they don't like each other.
When it comes to the quarantine, the biggest problem couples have is just the amount of pressure that the relationship is putting on each other. Think about it. Normally, you're around your partner 4, maybe 5 hours a day awake, but now that's tripled.
When we don't have as much distraction going on, we tend to hyper focus on certain things that little things that bother us.
Part of the reason that could be 1 in 3 people surveyed say they do not shower or bathe every day anymore. Also, 15% of respondents say they do not get dressed out of their pajamas.
He wanders through the house and continues to talk to me when I'm on the phone. Can't be in your bathrobe. And those are the things, like the little things I have to be aware of because the camera really covers the whole space.
Oh man, I really feel bad for this woman. Think about it. Her husband is walking around in a bathrobe while she's trying to work over Skype. That is so embarrassing because that's her job. Like imagine if you were in your boss's office and then your spouse just walks in, shirtless, covered in Cheetos. Honey, do you have a towel? Excuse me, my boss is here. Can't you see? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Boss, do you have a towel? The Cheetos, they get everywhere. Look at this. I see why people are getting tired of each other. Like just because you've committed your life to someone doesn't mean you want to be committed 24/7. In fact, after coronavirus ends, I think marriage vows need to be updated. Do you take this man to heaven to hold, but for like an hour in the morning and then maybe 3 hours at night when you watch TV? Now, don't get it twisted. Coronavirus isn't breaking up every couple. There are many lovebirds out there who are taking the initiative and turning quarantine time into quality time.
You may be stuck at home, but that doesn't mean date night is canceled.
One couple used their free time to recreate the iconic final dance scene from the 1980s film Dirty Dancing.
The Jones family is used to being creative, turning famous paintings into their own works of art. Quarantine style, like American Gothic and Washington crossing the Delaware.
Grant recreated date nights around the house, a casino, sports bar, bowling with paper towel pins in their living room.
I think my favorite part of the date was the dance club, which was our bathroom, which when we went in there, he had music blaring and then he turned the lights on and off.
Okay, now that guy deserves all the brownie points in the world. He made a full nightclub in his bathroom for his woman. Wow, that's love. And this thing was super realistic. He even charged her $18 for a vodka cranberry and then stole her purse when she got drunk. That is commitment. So, is coronavirus good or bad for your relationship? Well, in my opinion, it just reveals what your relationship already is. I know it is tough to be stuck inside with someone all the time, but this is reality for a little bit. So my advice is try and make the best of it. And I'm not just saying this. That's something that I've done, and I think it's worked out.
You know what, baby? Times may be tough, but we have wine, we have each other, and that's all we need. Kill me. Cheers to that. You can say that again.
Well, that's our show for today. Before we go, though, as America reaches peak corona infections, remember that our doctors, nurses, and first responders need our help. So please, go to Thrive Global's First Responders First and donate whatever you can to help them get the masks, gloves, and gowns that they need to save lives. And if you want to help in New York City specifically, then you can go to the New York Mayor's Fund, COVID-19 Response, and donate there. Stay safe out there. Remember to wash your hands. And you know those voices in your head? Well, maybe now's a good time to hear them out.